Hello there, I'm Lucy Whitaker. I'm a specialist motoring solicitor. This is a short video about driving disqualifications. There are different types of disqualification, obligatory and discretionary. Certain offences such as drink driving, dangerous driving and other of the more serious offences carry mandatory disqualification. The minimum period depends on the offence itself. Most motoring offences which ordinarily carry penalty points also allow the court to impose a discretionary disqualification as an alternative penalty. In particular, this power to impose a discretionary disqualification is frequently used for cases involving higher level speeding offences, but they can also be used for other offences such as going through a red light a long time after the light changed to red, and no insurance offences. Ordinarily, a disqualification is seen as a more severe penalty than points. However, there are circumstances when it is beneficial to receive a disqualification instead of points. For example, if you're a new driver and before your 2-year probation period is up, you inadvertently drive without insurance, possibly because the payment bounced and you didn't realise, or for some other reason, you may prefer to be disqualified for a definite period rather than receive 6 points, which would result in the revocation of your driving licence. When asking for this type of disqualification, it's always the court's decision whether or not to impose it. You will generally have to have strong mitigation to persuade the court to impose a disqualification instead of points, where points are the usual penalty. It's important not to confuse revocation of a licence with a disqualification. If your licence is revoked by DVLA because you're a new driver and have 6 or more points on your licence, this means that you have to reapply for a provisional licence, pass your theory and your practical tests again before you can drive and have a full licence. With a disqualification, you do not have to retake your test and you can drive again when the period of disqualification expires. Depending on the length of the disqualification, you may have to fill in a form to get a new driving licence, but you won't have to take a test. Occasionally, discretionary disqualification may be imposed by the court as a way of avoiding the totting up of penalty points. But the sentencing guidelines used by the magistrates directs against this, so you'll have to have compelling reasons to persuade the court to do this, unless you have a particularly sympathetic bench of magistrates. Finally, I'll just mention that there are ways of avoiding disqualifications or penalty points depending on the offence and the circumstances. Of course, one way is if you have a defence to the allegation. The other way is if special reasons exist, and I've talked about those in separate videos. If you are worried about having a driving disqualification or your licence revoked and would like further advice or representation, please do get in touch using the details on the screen and I would be delighted to help you. Thank you for watching.